Hey there, my name is Anthony Romano, and the title of this video is Low Carb Loses Muscle, but Keto Gains Muscle. So, hopefully this video title was confusing enough that it made you want to click on the video, but here's what I mean, okay? Low carb loses muscle and keto gains muscle or maintains it, okay? So what's the difference between low carb and keto from my definition here? Low carb to me means any diet that keeps you in a carb metabolism but doesn't quite jump to keto. So this means, you know, anything over 50 carbs basically. So if you're eating 60, 70, 80, 90 carbs, 100 carbs, 130 carbs, you know, if you're doing a carb-based diet with macro counting and you eventually get to a point where you drop your carbs to 150 a day or something, this is where the diet's going to start to feel really shitty to you if you are doing a carb-based diet, a macro diet. And this is because when your body is on carb, your body has two metabolisms, carb metabolism, fat metabolism. When your body's on carbs, make sure you give it enough carbs. Otherwise, you'll feel like shit. This is your body's energy. No matter what energy system you're running on, your body just wants enough energy. And the downside of a carb-based diet is eventually down the line, you're going to have to drop those carbs. If you've ever done a macro-based diet, you know this, and you've had to lower them over time. Not just your calories, everything's had to go down. And that's typically when the diet starts to feel like shit because your body doesn't have an abundance of energy. It has a scarcity of energy. And when you're on a fat metabolism, take a look at your whole body. There's plenty of fat which you're trying to lose, which is basically energy in the eyes of your body. Your body has access to thousands and thousands of calories despite being in a calorie deficit. So because it's in a fat metabolism, it's much more primed and ready and effective at burning fat. So not only are you going to have great results, but you won't feel like shit and you won't feel these blood sugar drops and spikes and blood insulin spikes and drops. So that's the general gist of the keto diet compared to a carb-based diet, where eventually down the line, to break 10% body fat and to actually get ripped, you have to kind of lower the carbs to a point where it could be detrimental to how you feel. And just a side note, I'm not somebody who hates macro diets with carbs. I've done plenty of them before. I have videos on my page of me doing them before as well, because I experiment with all kinds of diets. But I do tell people that if you're going to diet with carbs, make sure you give yourself enough. It's going to be hard to get leaner doing that, but you have to give yourself enough energy or else you're going to feel terrible. So either diet with carbs or diet without carbs. And no matter what you pick, don't go to no man's land in the beginning, or in the middle, sorry. Either stay where you are and give your body adequate carb energy, or make the jump, you know, the ballsy jump to keto. And from there, you're going to experience a fat loss diet that is way more enjoyable. Trust me on that. I've been doing it for 7 years and I can tell you it's way more enjoyable. And on top of that, the results are going to be just as good, if not better. And when it comes to actually scientifically proving that low carb will technically lose more muscle compared to keto, here's the explanation. Because I don't want you to think I'm lying about that. That is the title of this video. When your body's in a fat metabolism and you have ketones in your blood, right? You won't have ketones in your blood when you are low carb. At least you won't have enough to be in ketosis. The more ketones you have in your body, the more likely it is that your body is going to spare protein. So you can Google this. This is a scientific fact. Ketones are protein sparing. Simply having them in your blood is going to make you less likely to burn your own protein as an energy source through a process called gluconeogenesis. So if you're a keto person, you know about gluconeogenesis, and you might even be afraid of it because you think it means you're going to start using your protein, extra protein, as carb energy. It's not like that. I can explain it in other videos. But with the ketones in your blood, you are much less likely to use protein as an energy source because your body's using fat. It doesn't want to convert protein into glucose because it's not using glucose. So when you're in a carb metabolism, any extra protein you're consuming, or if you're not consuming enough protein, basically you're going to risk having your own muscle being turned into fuel because you simply need to survive, and that's your body's priority. So with a carb metabolism, scientists don't know why. With a fat metabolism, scientists don't know why ketones have this effect. They have not been able to discover why this is the case, but they know it is a fact. And I mean, even simply taking a ketone supplement will put ketones in your blood and have this effect. It's actually a good tool for people who are on carb diets to prevent catabolism. But it kind of makes you just think, shouldn't I just fucking do the diet? I don't know. Do the keto diet. So, low carb doesn't let your body have enough energy, which might force it to use its own protein. Common sense. Makes sense. The actual method would be gluconeogenesis, and ketones would be preventing excess gluconeogenesis. If you're in a ketogenic state, you're eating enough fats and you're not having any carbs at all, right? That would basically provide enough ketones to prevent any muscle catabolism. Any excess protein you're eating is just going to go into your muscles for extra glycogen stores once you're adapted. You don't need to worry about eating too much protein on keto. You don't need to do that. Just cut out the carbs and you're set. And with a low carb, you're not giving your body enough energy, which, like I said, is going to make it more likely to pull from muscle. Because if you're depriving your body of energy, that's the main thing here. Depriving your body of energy. Depriving your body of calories is also energy. But you got to think about what your body's engine is ready to burn. If your body's engine is running on gasoline and you have a small amount of gasoline, you're shit out of luck. But if your body's engine is running on electricity or like fat, or basically something you have an endless amount of that you're trying to get rid of, it'd be better if you're already in a state that's ready to burn that, okay? So hopefully that was not too bad of an analogy. But the point is, low carb diets are more likely to burn muscle due to the fact that they keep you in a carb metabolism, and eventually down the line you're going to have to lower those carbs to a point where you're risking muscle loss. So you can still get very far on carb diets and low carb diets. Keto is technically a low carb diet, the low carb diet, but I'm calling low carb diets anything that isn't in keto range. So anything above keto that's still low is what I'm criticizing here. So hopefully this gave you an insight to some of the mechanisms in the body, and hopefully it gave you some insight into why you should do keto. If you were convinced, which I mean you should be because I made such a damn good case there, there's a free keto meal plan in the description and a free training plan as well, which you can take for completely free. And also, if you want to take that and use it as a tool to compete in my 60-day keto transformation challenge, where you can win prizes, including ketones, you can do that as well and enter in the competition and possibly win stuff. It's also free. And also ask me questions. I'll answer you in the comments. Also free. And I'll answer you, I promise. And you can also subscribe and click the notification bell. Also free. Thanks for watching. My name is Anthony Romano. Peace.